In the last video, I demonstrated the cloisonné wire application. In this video, I'm going to begin applying the transparent color enamel. I choose the colors I'm going to use for this piece so that they complement the base coat and reflect the colors of a blue jay's feather. I used the test tiles to determine which color would work the best. I have to rinse the enamel powders before filling in the cells made by the wire. The purpose of rinsing the enamel is to remove tiny particles that will cloud the glass when it has been fired. After rinsing the impurities out several times and adding a few drops of clear fire holding agent, the enamel is ready to be wet packed on. Wet packing enamel is similar to painting because you need to use a brush to apply your colors in both mediums. The main thing to keep in mind when wet packing is that you are using the tip of the brush to settle the tiny grains of colored glass into the barriers formed by the wire. Wet packing is a very simple process, but nonetheless a very lengthy one. Wet packing layers of enamel into dozens of wire cells can take several hours. Just make sure the enamel in one cell doesn't overlap the cloisonné and bleed into the next cell. To create a gradation of colors within the cells, I start by wet packing the darkest of the colors I am using first. Once this color has been wet packed to every cell, we can dry and fire the vessel before moving on to the next color. After the piece has cooled down, I then wet pack two colors within each cell. The moisture will cause the grains of the enamel to blend into each other. It is not nearly as unforgiving as using paint because of how easily the grains are moved by moisture. I repeat these steps until the fired enamel has reached the very highest point of the cloisonné wires. Once I'm satisfied with the color, I can coat the vessel in colorless transparent enamel. I will also need to apply additional coats of the opaque enamel we used for the base coat. Below the cloisonné wire, where it separates the base coat from the layers of transparent enamel, we're going to wet pack the base coat color just into the other side of the wire. Not only do I wet pack the enamel for the base coat, I also spray and dust it on to apply it as evenly as possible. I have to be careful not to get any opaque enamel on the transparent layers before it's fired. I use painter's tape to cover up the transparent coats as I'm dust coating. This is mostly to cover up the traces of the silver foil that we do not want showing. I'm almost done showing how I make a cloisonné vessel, but there are a few things that need to happen before I'm finished. In the final part of this video series, I will go over how to stone the surface of the vessel to make it smooth, and then creating the decorative rim.